Welcome back, friends, to my new course on ChatGPT. We know that is the latest in the technology stack, and from this very course, we'll try to understand how we can leverage ChatGPT specifically for cybersecurity domain, right? But prior to that, we need to build some good foundation on understanding what is ChatGPT. So this is the place here. So let's start. So there is a stat very first which is visible to you here, like time it took to reach 1 million users. For Netflix, it took around 3.5 years. For Airbnb, it took 2.5 years. For Facebook, it took 10 months. For Spotify, it took 5 months. For Instagram, it took 2.5 months. For iPhone, it took 74 days. And for ChatGPT, it just took 5 days. Within 5 days, it has reached to 1 million users. Okay, the user base is tremendously increasing at a much less period as compared to other technology players in the market. So hence it is important for us to leverage it. This is incredible and this is the right time to understand it, build some foundation, and that is the reason why I'm coming up with this very course. So ChatGPT is one of those rare moment in technology that will reshape everything going forward. So and that is being said, let's understand what is ChatGPT, what is the organization behind ChatGPT. So OpenAI is an artificial intelligence company. With this particular logo is the company behind ChatGPT. So let's understand about it. So OpenAI is an American artificial intelligence research laboratory consisting of the non-profit OpenAI Incorporated and its for-profit subsidiary corporations OpenAI Limited Partnership. So basically, they are non-profit and profit ones, right? Both organizations are there, which goes with these two different name: OpenAI Limited Partnership, which is a profit for profit one, non-profit is OpenAI Incorporations. Now, OpenAI conducts AI research with declared intentions of promoting and developing friendly AI. So their focus is developing friendly AI, not an adversarial AI, but the AI for good cause, right? That is their motive, and that's their core. So this is the for profit part, because eventually the chat gpt is free for a demo right now, but moving forward it will be a paid subscription based model, and people or organization will be leveraging it because the way it produces the data is incredible. Even Google's search engine is at a stake when ChatGPT is coming into picture, right? So let's understand the hierarchy which OpenAI followed after becoming a for-profit organization. So in 2020, OpenAI announced ChatGPT or GPT-3. Okay, basically GPT-3 is generative pre-trained, which is a language model trained on the large internet data sets. Okay, GPT-3 is aimed at natural language, answering of questions, but can also translate between language and coherently generate improvised text. In 2021, OpenAI introduced DALI. DALI is nothing but is a deep learning model that can generate digital images. So its function is to generate digital images from the natural language descriptions, which means if I'm just giving some description of a window on a wall on a seashore and some sandy beach and some coconut trees, with this description it will try to generate a digital image. So that is the power of DALI. So it's another project apart from ChatGPT. Now, coming to December 2022, OpenAI received widespread media coverage after launching a free preview of ChatGPT, its new AI chatbot based on ChatGPT 3.5. Okay, now according to the OpenAI, the preview received over a million signups within the first 5 days. So within very first 5 days, as I shown in this place, like took 5 days for it to make million users. That is a fact. According to anonymous source cited by Reuters in December 2022, OpenAI was projecting $200 million revenue in 2023 and $1 billion revenue in 2024. See the growth. When there's a growth, you need to be part of the growth channel so as to be more efficient to leverage it, the technology, right? So that is this course for, we'll try to leverage it as much as we can. So as of January 2023, OpenAI was in talks for funding that would value the company at $29 billion, double the value of the company in 2021. And on January 2023, Microsoft. So there is another giant which is mixing up now with ChatGPT to leverage ChatGPT. So if organizations of that caliber is trying to get some integration with it. So why not we as an individual try to gather or capture or leverage that opportunity, right? So Microsoft announced a new multi-layer multi-billion dollar reported to be 10 billion investment in OpenAI, which is the company itself, correct? And it has multiple range. We'll try to understand what Microsoft is, what project is it having, and we'll try to get some information on that as well. Now investment is believed to be part of Microsoft's effort to integrate OpenAI's ChatGPT into their Bing search engine. You know, we never use Bing, but there are chances for us to install this Bing search engine back because now it is more powerful, more intelligent, and powered with this ChatGPT features. Correct. So now Google, why? How can Google be not involved in this scenario, right? So Google announced a similar AI application called as Bard after ChatGPT was launched, fearing that ChatGPT could threaten Google's place to go to source for information. So we know we have Google as a go-to source for information, but it also has some susceptibility that it might be lowered down from this very uh, position because of ChatGPT's popularity, right? Immense popularity which ChatGPT is having. Now on February 7th, the latest of this month itself, Microsoft announced that it is building AI technologies based on the same foundation as ChatGPT into their Microsoft Bing. Now it has scaled to Microsoft Bing, scaled to Microsoft Edge, which is their web browser, and Microsoft 365 as well, and other products. It's not limiting, it's ever increasing from their Microsoft stack, and this will surely give Microsoft an edge. And the core component of Google in this market is Microsoft only. So let's now understand what is ChatGPT. I hope you got a good understanding what is ChatGPT, what is the organization, what organizations are leveraging OpenAI features or products, AI projects or products from of different nature. So what is ChatGPT? So most popular AI in the world right now. This is not a hypothetical condition or hypothetically I'm speaking. This is actually the most popular AI in the world right now, and its name is OpenAI's ChatGPT. This is the most popular one. Okay, OpenAI chat trained ChatGPT to be able to have useful conversation with people and is already being used to automate redundant tasks. So basically, it's an OpenAI product, and OpenAI has trained ChatGPT to be able to have a useful conversation with the people or an individual who is interacting with ChatGPT. Okay, and we have the options in, or we have seen the scenarios where OpenAI or ChatGPT has played a key role by doing or by automating the redundant task or repetitive task or mundane task of domains like sales domain, marketing domain, programming domain, content creation domain, customer support related activities. All these repetitive mundane tasks are automated using ChatGPT, correct? And then let's build our understanding how it is different from the previous chatbots which are there prevalently in the market. The previous chatbots were incapable of having conversation or insightful interaction, right? They don't have that insightful conversation or intelligent conversation which ChatGPT is offering right now. They mostly have out they mostly output nonsense. Like if I'm asking about from an education chatbot about the next course going to commence in this February month, it will give me a list of courses, though I'm very specific with the course I'm looking for and I'm looking for the schedule of it, but it will only throw me the list of courses because it is scheduled to output that for any query which I'm placing. It doesn't sensibly respond, correct? For secondly, it couldn't remember what the existing chatbot, so the previous chatbot doesn't remember the history or keep the knowledge of dialogues which we already had, right? That's not there in the existing chatbots. Also, it is not trained on enough data to be able to interact on diverse range of topics. That is another important aspects. Like more it is trained, more effectively it will be able to answer, right? That is the key. Now let's understand the chat GPT as a solution. So ChatGPT basically spits English, which is a globally understandable language, and also spits programming code. It's not only confined to give information to us in an English format, but it has the capability to generate code, the very programming code. For instance, if I'm asking it to have security embedded in a page, it will try to generate the code in the respective language, maybe ASP.NET, Python, Java. As you portray the query to it, it will try to generate the code. I understand that it is not effective, and we need to tweak it actually to be more specific as our requirement, but at least it will give us a framework or a schema to start with, which we don't get even if we do the googling aspects, correct? Now remember, it remembers you and your chat history. It doesn't confine to the recent thread of information, but it understands or keep a track of the history of our dialogues and will be more efficiently giving us the input. For instance, if I'm writing, give me the Python code to embed security in a web page, it will give me that. Now if I try to enhance it with some other key encryption technology stack, it will try to add on top of the security component. It's not going to give me from scratch, but it will be adding it onto the security stack of the web page, and on top of it the encryption standards which might need to be followed. Have general knowledge to chat with. This is very important for having an insightful discussion, correct? So that also has been there because it's been trained on mul- for multiple times on to gather more data, and hence it can offer us to have general or insightful chat with you. Now, what steps does OpenAI follow to create ChatGPT? Step one is to learn and understand English generative pre-training. So GPT is a language model which ChatGPT uses, and in this step, basically OpenAI collected 500 GB plus text data, including which the sources. These are the various sources from where it has ingested this data. These are the web pages, the books, the articles, the Wikipedia, the academic papers, the programming code, and many other sources which I am not able to find. The goal was to model text as a sequence of words into English language. The step two is supervised fine tuning to learn dialogue. We know it's a dialogue based, text based dialogue communication, so that is the one which is important. And it has reinforced learning. For instance, you try to search out something and you find out it is not sufficient or it is not exact, you have the option to report it. Once you report, it's a reinforced learning for ChatGPT, so as to ensure that that answer which is not sufficient should not be ported again, and the right facts and figures should be ported back when the same question is asked. So that's how it keep on learning. So that's the feature which AI have. Okay, now there are certain limitation to ChatGPT itself. We know like nothing is complete. There's always an option to improve. So ChatGPT does have some limitations. One such limitation is inaccurate information. That means it provides us with the information, but it doesn't ever reveal the source of information. So that is one thing to consider, and it is all hit and trial. Once you try to search some data, you might take it to your environment. You try to do your own R&D, research and development, to make it more efficient, but you will surely get some schema in the basic framework, and it also reduces your effort to do search as you do it currently on Google search engine or any other search engine, correct? There's no physical embodiment, which might be the new upcoming case for them, like a robotic body with chat gpt capabilities will be more physical and interactive as compared to just a engine, querying engine right now, if this doesn't have any physical embodiment. Now, as we know, we understood what is OpenAI, what is their Chat GPT project, what is their Daily project, what are the features it offers, and what exactly are its capabilities and how it is built by OpenAI, right? But that is not the only tool available in the market right now, because we saw the tie-up of ChatGPT with Microsoft and other organizations taking place, which has the capability to enhance the competition between larger organizations like Google and Microsoft, right? So Google AI team also came up with a new project. They announced a code red team, and that came up with a new product referred to as Bard, which is similar line with ChatGPT, but the language model which Bard uses is different. So let's try to build some understanding on this as well. So why? So on 5th January, Google announced Code Red. In its internal management. Why was Code Red? Code Red is basically announced because of inception of ChatGPT and the massive growth which ChatGPT has shown, where it took Google to reach 1 million users a year. So it took year for Google to reach 1 million users. ChatGPT just took 1 day and 2 months for 100 million users. Correct. Now, hence Google announced Code Red and created their AI system, which is referred to as BARD. Okay. Now, as Microsoft started supporting ChatGPT, and Microsoft is the core competition of whom? With Google is Microsoft, right? They are all the competitive one in the same. So Google started its own solutions bar to stay competitive. This is its initiative to stay competitive, and it has, as we discussed, it has some susceptibility that its place in current search engine market would be lowered on if it doesn't do any AI enablement. So this is its AI initiative. Uh, Against ChatGPT or in competition with ChatGPT. Now, Google AI team gave BARD-based Lambda language model. So basically, the language model which BARD uses is Lambda, which is again native to Google only, right? Now, ChatGPT is based on GPT-3 language model. That is the differentiating factor between the two. Now, I just try to understand what is a language model. So, language model is nothing but it is basically something that processes the result in the same language as the question is asked. And for example, I ask question in English, I'll get the answer in English. So that is what the chat. That's a very high level uh, understanding of a language model. That is the core aspect of language model. Okay. Now let's have try to leverage some understanding on what is the Lambda language model. So in June 2022, Blake Lemoine is a Google employee working on a Lambda project, and most of the reports suggest that Lambda language model is more conscious than GPT-3. Right? These are the reports based on the workings going on. But Google's stocks went down when Google's AI Bard gave wrong answers to questions like this. So this is the same search engine or like search engine kind of interface where we can ask questions, but this is a Bard's interface. Though Bard is not publicly available right now, it's available natively for Google employees to test it out efficiently. But when it is asked from Bard, like what new discoveries from James Webb Space Telescope can I tell my 9-year-old about? So these are the output which it gives. So these outputs are not in sync. It gave a new galaxy which is nicknamed as Green P, but there's no such galaxy which is named as Green P. It also identifies some exoplanet, but there's no name which it identified. Ideally, these are the information which it should give. So the answers given by Bard, which has lot of manipulation of facts, and there's no galaxy ever been named as Greenpeace. There's no name for the exoplanet which is found, right? Now, ChatGPT is reason. There's a reason why it is not efficient, right? Which we need to understand. So because of this wrong answering, its stock went down. So people are losing trust there as well if it is not efficient. So, but the reason why it is such, why it is not so efficient is right because ChatGPT is launched in 2015 and it has an accuracy of 98%. Because since starting it is trained on AI and ML to give results effectively. So once it is started, it's an early mover, first mover. 2015 started in, and since the inception, it has always been trained in AI ML to be more efficient while giving the results. Now Google Code Red is recently launched and it will take time to get trained to give effective answers to be useful. Bard is n- now is not accessible publicly but is used for testing internally. That is the thing. So I hope you got a good understanding of ChatGPT and Google's Bard. Our focus in this course will mostly be around understanding how we can leverage ChatGPT from cybersecurity perspective, how we can query ChatGPT. We'll also understand how we can leverage Azure or Microsoft capabilities with ChatGPT, which is trying to leverage, right? So that will be the core context around. I hope you find this course interactive and useful. Stay tuned. Thank you.